Welcome to the highlights of the first day's play of this second Cornhill Test match at Lord's. Australia 1-0 in the series, having won at Trent Bridge. A good win it was too, in a game that effectively was over in 3 days. The pitch at Lord's we hoped would be very much more in favour of batsmen than the one at Trent Bridge. And in fact, conditions at the start of play, when the captains went out to toss, were pretty good. Something of a cloud cover, but the pitch itself looked nice and white and very, very firm indeed. The toss, well, Kim Hughes again, as he did at Trent Bridge, won the toss and put England into bat on what I must say at the start looked to be a very, very good batting surface. The teams, well, England had left out Mike Hendrick from the initially named 12, and Australia were forced to play Ray Bright, Rodney Hogg, having had some back spasms yesterday, and when he bowled against Kent at the weekend, he came in as the spinner. John Embury was in the side, so a spinner in each of the two teams playing here. But the team selections paled into insignificance alongside a statistical performance put up by England's opening batsman and longest serving team member, Geoffrey Boycott, playing here at Lord's in his 100th Test match. A superb performance. He's done wonderfully well for England over the years. Heaven knows how many runs he'd have made it if he'd played in all the Test matches for which he was available. Well, he opened the innings with Graham Gooch. We pick up play now. It's Dennis Lilly coming in to bowl from the pavilion end, the first over, the fifth ball, and in the commentary box with me is Tom Graveney. A nice start for Graham Gooch. And he's away. The Boycott fan club down by the tavern. Gives him the customary ovation. Dennis Lilly. And there's the fast outfield taking its toll. Once again, no man at third man.
Beautifully timed stroke this. Didn't hit it hard at all. Just timed it nicely. And the ball really raced up that hill.
Oh, so close, and so unlike Boycott. There's Geoff Lawson. The ball, he was at mid-wicket. The ball was almost scooped by Boycott, just over the tops of his fingertips. Aim straight, but it's gone square, and it's gone for four. Four more for Graham Gooch. Just opened the face of the bat, and it sped off square on the offside. 50 runs up. Four more. He's out. Graham Yallop, the catcher at square leg, and Geoff Lawson, the bowler. For a moment it looked as if Graham Gooch's hook shot might carry and might be middle, but in fact must have hit high up on the bat. Well, relief for Bob Woolmer. He's fallen down with relief, collapses with relief, takes his hat off with relief, and I think everyone around feels a bit for him to follow those 2 noughts at Trent Bridge, now with the single.
There's just an extra yard or two of pace here from Geoffrey Lawson, inspired by that wicket. And he's got him. Alderman taking the catch in the end. after it bounced away off border. That second slip, and Lawson has picked up his second wicket. 65 for 2 now. And that is the one the Australians were so keen to get. Geoffrey Boycott playing in his 100th Test match. Caught Alderman after a juggling performance down there at the far end of the ground. 4. Warner's first stroke of authority today.
So Bob Woolmer retires. Sadly, the bandaged arm disappears into the long room and up to the dressing room, no doubt. Dennis Lillee off a short run from the nursery end. This time off the middle of the bat for Mike Gatting, and a splendid way to get off the mark.
Lucky to get away with that. Lawson hasn't bowled much short today. He's been quite selective in his use of the bouncer. Picked up Gooch with one such short delivery, and that one from Gatting just flew away down to fine leg. Chappell's doing the chasing there, but that's a firmly hit stroke. Nice timing from Gatting. Here comes the 100 for England, having been put into bat here by Kim Hughes. 101 for 2, and Gatting goes to 14. Beautiful piece of cricket from Geoff Lawson down a deep fine leg, and there must only have been an inch in it, I reckon. That's nicely placed by David Gower. And that outfield is very quick. Well, really racing away there towards the nursery end. That was a well-timed shot from the left-hander. And after that delivery, the Australians have a problem here, because Terry Alderman is coming off, as though he might have damaged a muscle. Plenty of problems now for Kim Hughes. Dennis Lillee. And the return of Lillee prompts a glorious stroke from Gower. Lillee bowling out the over started by Alderman. That was a top stroke. And he's gone this time. Gower has fallen to Lawson, who now has taken all 3 wickets to go down. What a great performance by this young man in his first match at Lord's. 134 for 3, with Gower caught Marsh, bowled Lawson. 27, David Gower. Safely away for 4 for Peter Willey, away through that gully area. Takes him on now to 7.
Ray Bright to Mike Gatting. Nicely executed. Two close fielders for the bowling of Ray Bright. Nice shot, found the gap. Mike Gaddings strokes of the covers, and this brings the 150 up for England. Classic cover drive for the loss of 3 wickets. There it is, off the middle of the bat. Half century for Mike Gatting. And there the supporters. Mike Gadding's second half century in these test matches. 52 at Trent Bridge, and now 52 not out at Lord's in 135 minutes. Cleanly struck this time by Mike Gatting.
Single to Mike Gatting, and a milestone for him. It's his highest score in Test cricket. He goes now to 57. The total goes on to 184 for 3. And he's given him LBW. Gatting has gone at 187. 187 for 4 now. Ray Bright breaks through. The first wicket to fall to spin in 2 test matches on this 1981 tour. Gatting LBW to Bright for 59, his highest score in test match cricket. Shot. It's a super shot from Willie. Not only that, it's the end of the day, and what a good way to finish for Peter Willie. He goes to 23, and England to 191 for 4. So Mike Gatting out LBW to Bright in that last session for 59, and Willie at the close remaining 23, not out, with 2 handsome strokes towards the end, and Embury doing the right job there for Ian Botham. Not dismissed and protecting Botham, and Bob Woolmer, the man who retired hurt for 13, to come in and play against the Australian attack tomorrow. 191 for 4. So the Australians, I think, can be well satisfied with what happened in the end, having given England first use of what I must say was a very, very good batting track out there. In a sense, they were lucky to get away with it. 3 for 40 to Lawson, the outstanding figures, and 1 for 29 to Ray Bright. So a day that started with the ovation for Geoffrey Boycott, finished with Geoff Lawson, the hero, and in between times we had Terry Alderman off the field, a slight muscle strain, a slight hamstring strain, and the Australians hope that he'll be fit to play tomorrow, and in fact the England side have the same high hopes as regards Bob Woolmer. His forearm not cracked, but he'll be out there battling away against the Australians tomorrow. The hero of the day, as far as the Australians were concerned, with Lilly and Alderman wicketless, well, it's got to be Geoffrey Lawson, 3 wickets in his first tilt at the old enemy on the hallowed home of cricket. Waterlogged and slightly murky day, the second day of this second Cornhill Test match at Lord's. They started play under leaden skies, and they only got through a quarter of an hour in which 4 runs were scored to take the score along to 195 for 4. Then they had to go off the field, and we lost 138 minutes in all. We pick up play now after lunch, lunch being taken early. Dennis Lilly's the bowler, John Embury is taking strike, and it's 198 for 4. In the commentary box with me is Tom Graveney. And up comes the 200 for England, with a loss of 4 wickets having been put into bat in this second Cornhill Test match. 27 to Willie, and Embury has now gone on to 5. Well, that's all rather surprising. I'd have thought the chance of the ball being wet, the shine taken off, would stop Kim Hughes taking the new ball, but there we are. We live in different times these days, and he's tossed the new ball to his quick bowler. Here's Geoff Lawson now coming in to bowl the first over with his second new ball. And there's one that'll pick up a bit of moisture in beating Lilly. A fine shot.
And nicely timed stroke this by Peter Willey.
Big two there. Confuse the fielder. Straight take.
I thought that might happen. He signalled a wide.
And I doubt if it really needed all the consideration he gave it either. It was about 1.5.
Here it goes, and to reach that, you'd certainly need a long handle. What a magnificent effort by Rod Marsh there.
Safe, and what an extraordinary stroke. Back of the bat, I should think.
And this game of cricket, sideways on game, not quite sideways on. I should think it hit the outside edge and went over second slip.
Too much down leg side, particularly at this reduced pace. Rather a sloppy sort of over. That one, it goes down as buys against Rodney Marsh, but his West Australian teammate can take part of the blame for that. Shot and well fielded. Trevor Chappell. Well, might be something wrong with his leg, but there's nothing wrong with the voice. There's a big shout, that one. And a certain amount of disappointment as well. Four more. Total goes to 227 now. Very valuable, just as good as a smash through the covers or straight down the ground. Plays that shot so well. I wouldn't say that Lilly's overjoyed about that. The slide was quite unnecessary from John Dyson. It was a big effort, in fact, but he just misjudged it and could have picked it up, I suspect, in his right hand had he not bothered to slide for it. That's very close, that one. I'd just have been getting a little bit forward. Disappointment, disillusionment, frustration. It's all there for Terry Alderman.
And a good shout, this. Playing round it, perhaps just going down the leg side.
Good shot. Nice timing off the back foot there. He was able to take a little bit of the pace of it, but still 3 there to Peter Willey. Good cricket all round with a fine return from the Australian skipper.
Alderman to Willey, and he wasn't too pleased with that shot. And the 50 partnership coming as the ball races away for 2. And a great round of applause as well for Peter Willey's 50. And that'll be 4, not where he was playing it, but they all count. And an important moment this in the England innings, with Peter Willey beginning to play really well. And that's another 4 and almost a chance. So Willey picks up 8 runs in 2 balls, but really all the credit belongs to the bowler, Terry Alderman. Lilly. He tried to bowl a slow off spinner at him. Embry just clips it away for a couple. The England night watchman has been in now for 1 hour and 38 for 18. And I suppose in the overall concept of the game, he's beginning to outlive his purpose a bit. Need to get some of the stroke-making batsmen in. .250 up. Majestic stroke. So strong in the arm, Willey.
There'll be no better shot in this play during this match. Superb, short. Just watch his right foot come right over the top of the ball, taking his body side on and absolutely in perfect position. It's a shot which seems to have gone out of fashion, but fortunately Willey is one of those men who can play it superbly.
The coats are starting to go on again.
This time good delivery from Lawson. The ball short, getting up quite high. Probably as much life as we've seen today so far.
The umpires are going to have a look at the light now and asking the batsmen, and off they go. Just a few drops of rain, nothing very special. The light not particularly good here at Lord's, and so off they go again.
So they took an early tee, 260 for 4, with Willey 64 not out, Embury 22 not out. Some great strokes from Peter Willey, particularly on the offside, square of the wicket. I thought he played really well today, and that innings will have done him a world of good for his future in Test match cricket. Embury, you can't do much better as a night watchman than make 22 not out and take up a lot of time. 43 minutes the tea interval was extended to with the rain and bad light. We pick up play now in the 3rd over after tea. Terry Alderman is the bowler. Peter Willey is taking strike. 4 runs have been added to take the total on to 264. Here's Peter Walker, and with him is Bob Simpson.
Alderman. And that might be out, and that's a miscatch. Alan Border at second slip puts down Peter Willey at 68 with a total on 264. And big disappointment for Terry Alderman there, who's bowled so well, labouring under this hamstring strain. And that really was a chance that Australia should have fastened onto. Oh, that was a beautiful ball, and there's an appeal. Terry Alderman just can't believe his luck.
This ball cutting back up the hill, the way the other's been going down the hill. This one has come in very, very sharply. I wonder, in fact, whether it may not have even just brushed the stumps, and occasionally that happens, and you get a noise of the sound as though it's hitting the edge of the bat.
And the game has come to something of a stalemate, with Alderman and Lawson bowling straight and true, and Willey and Embry replying in kind. Nothing much happening. one, maybe two, maybe... Oh, a magnificent stop on the boundary. And applause all round for Dyson. A superb diving stop which saved a certain 4 and cut it down to 2. And that's 4 runs. Not a chance over the outstretched hands of Graham Wood at first slip. These two, Willie and Embry, have put on 93. And squirted away for 4. And so Peter Willey moves into the 80s, and it's also his highest score of the season so far. Oh, and that's a magnificent catch by Alan Border. That really is. Straight out of the hands of first slip, diving away to his left. And Peter Willey is out for 82. And Terry Alderman gets his due rewards. But what a wonderful catch. The crowd rising to Peter Willey, who's taken on the role of sheet anchor in this innings. Looking on the way to his 3rd Test 100. And just when he had it in his sights, Alderman produces a good ball and Alan Border catches a wonderful one at second slip. 97, Embry and Willey put on. And this is Bob Woolmer with his first scoring stroke since coming out to bat and turning him square for 4. And it's moved on now to 290 for 5 after being put in by Australia yesterday at 11:30. Dennis Lilly, who feels he's got time on his hands down there at Fine Lake, trying to sign a couple of autographs. Whoops, and that's anywhere. In fact, that's gone for 2 off the shoulder of the bat down to Dennis Lilly. Yet another short run from Lawson. And they're going for 2. This could easily be a run out. Must be, surely. And he's out. Embry's run out. A lovely throw from Dennis Lilly. And that was a risky single because Embry looked at Lilly as Lilly was on the point of throwing and then called Bob Woolmer for the second.
And this is how it all happened. Quite a decent leg glance there. But really, absolute suicide. Dennis Lilly has the ball in his hand before John Embry turns to take the second. And there it is, Rodney Marsh, well out, 2 yards out. Very comfortable run out. And there's the man of the moment, Ian Botham.
Way there behind square leg out on the boundary is Ray Bright. He's gone right back on the fence now. 2 men behind square out on the boundary. He's specifically there for the hook shot, the lofted hook. And that's close. He's got him. Lawson has dismissed the England captain. And things could hardly be going worse for Ian Botham at the moment. LBW to Jeff Lawson on the forward stroke. Without scoring, 293 for 7, England. Lawson has now picked up 4 wickets. Stream for a catch there, and it's out. Taylor caught it short leg by Hughes off Lawson. Lawson's 5th wicket. And what a good performance from the big fellow. Forcing Taylor to play there. Another wicket made into Lawson. 5 for 76 now and it's 293 for 8. Jeff Lawson, the hero of the Australian attack. 4 bowlers there. Alderman injured yesterday, but back on the field today and taking 1 wicket. Lilly, none for 102. Lawson, 5 for 76, and Bright, 1 for 31. Shot by Bob Woolmer. Very good on the offside. Nice square driver and cover driver.
Beautiful stroke this from Bob Woolmer. Foot to the pitch of the ball. Nicely through there. And Terry Alderman hasn't bowled many half volleys. That's one of the very few.
Marsh. And umpire Palmer has given Woolmer out. It looked to me as though it came off the glove rather than the forearm.
And a very good bouncer this. Bob Woolmer gets inside it, but it's a little bit quick onto him. And Rodney Marsh takes a simple lob catch. That's quite an England collapse.
Bob Willis preparing to face Jeff Lawson. Four runs to start with. Up comes the 300 for England. Sunshine through now. Here's Lawson. Good running. Lawson, Dyson, in fact, picking up rather awkwardly down there and having to change stride before he could throw. Lilly out at deep mid-off. This is Alderman's chance, bowling against Bob Willis. As against that, Bob Willis has occasionally hit some mighty blows. With a studied defence or flailing bat, which just occasionally produces some valuable runs. Nothing elegant about it. That did him an injustice. It was elegant enough. 307 for 9. Dennis Lilly is coming in at deep mid-off. Looking to save the single. Just 1 ball to go.
Going for the big one. A little inside edge. Definitely a touch of Sunday League there.
311 for 9. 7 to Dilly, 5 to Willis. So Lawson to Willis. And that's the end of the innings. 311 all out. Willis caught Wood, bowled Lawson for 5. Dilly remained 7 not out. And England lost their last 6 wickets for only 27 runs. Fine performance from Geoff Lawson. 43.1 overs, 14 maidens, 7 for 81. Had 3 wickets yesterday, 3 for 40 from 26 overs. So today he bowled 17 overs and took 4 for 41. In all, 7 for 81 in 43.1 overs and 14 maidens. A great debut at Lord's for Geoff Lawson. .311 in all for England, and I don't think Ian Botham will be too pleased at that. Peter Willey, 82, very good innings, and I sensed he probably threw it away in the end, playing strokes he wouldn't normally play just to keep the scoring moving along. Embury, 31, taking a risk on Lily's arm, even though he was signing autographs down at long leg. Botham, no score. Can anything else go wrong for the England captain? Well, it did actually later in the day. Bob Taylor, no score. Dilly not out 7, and the last man out, Willis, for 5. The hero for the Australians was Geoff Lawson, 7 for 81 from 43.1 overs and 14 maidens. Alderman, 1 for 79, and Raymond Bright, 1 for 31. Well, Bob Willis bowled the first over of the Australian innings. Dilly, the second, coming in from the nursery end. Taking strike to him now is John Dyson, and 4 runs are on the board for the Australians.
And that'll see Dyson off the mark. Gower's the man in pursuit, and it's 3 runs. Eleven tests so far, Graham Dilly. 31, and he certainly didn't lack anything by comparison with Michael Holding and the rest in the West Indies during the winter. And rather like Jimmy Connors at Wimbledon yesterday, it looks like they've been stirring Graham Dilly up in the dressing room. They might have fed him a bit of raw meat, because he's really in full cry here, and this is first over.
This time the ball pitching but cutting away towards the leg, and I would have thought also perhaps a little bit too high going down the slope there, and I think probably missing and being over the top of leg stump.
Oh, that's a magnificent shot with Bob Willis. Somehow parries. Just as well he got a hand to that, Bob. It could have KO'd him. And it's 2 runs. I don't think he spotted that out of the background too well. And an ex-goalkeeper's reflexes were very much in the fore there.
Helmets for deep fine leg fieldsmen these days.
So the end of 2 overs, Australia 10 for 2. 301 runs behind England's first innings total of 311. The point you were making, Bobby, when Australia were fielding about the slip field as being sort of staggered, is quite interesting, as the umpires confer on the light. And to our eye from here, high up in the Warner stand, it doesn't seem to be any worse now than it was perhaps when they started play just after tea.
Certainly a good even light at present, and while the sun's not out, the umpires have decided they should go off.
They asked the Australian batsmen for their view, and understandably they didn't want to continue, and so off we go. And Ian Botham is amazed at that. He's just talking to Ken Palmer, the umpire. He's asking for some clarification on just how dark it is from umpire Palmer. And they're old Somerset colleagues, these two.
You're seeing Botham here obviously trying to seek a clarification either on the rule or the light reading or something, but just looking down over the ground, it does seem to me that the light is reasonably good, and I've certainly played in darker situations, I think, in England.
Well, that was the voice of former Australian captain Bob Simpson. The Australians finishing the day very relieved, I should think, at 10 for no wicket. Wood was on 5 and Dyson 3. With me is Bob Simpson at the moment, and we might just expand on those curious happenings towards the end of the day. Bob, you said you've batted over here on several occasions in darker conditions than this?
Yes, I think so. Even before lunch on the first day of a test match, I can remember once at the Oval being much darker, but it's always difficult, I think, at this time of day, late in the afternoon, a change of innings, a new ball on, and the umpires tend to give a light appeal more than they would if the team who'd batted most of the day was still there.
What about the light meters? They came into play. We saw Ian Botham definitely unpleased, I would think, about what was going on, no matter what the light meter showed. Do you think they should just be a guide, or should there be an arbitrary thing?
Oh, definitely just a guide only. I think that they should say at certain grounds around the country, once it gets below a certain level, then they should consider whether they should go off. But it should also be determined, I believe, by the general surrounds and the conditions at the time. And certainly this afternoon I felt it was a nice soft light and wouldn't have been a bad one to bat in.
Yes, well, I'm very keen on the light meters, and I'm inclined to look on them as an arbitrary thing. I think that the batting side could have some complaint if the reading got down below a certain point, let's say 2.8, as it was probably down below today. They might well want to know why they weren't off the field. But there was a time when the sun came out and the umpires didn't, and that, I think, was a bit of a problem with the crowd here, who showed their displeasure a little later on in the evening. If the sun was out, they wanted to know why the umpires weren't out there in the centre. I think perhaps they had a valid point.
Yes, they did, and particularly when the umpires were in the pavilion, taking their light reading actually in the pavilion, which I would imagine be very different to what it would read from the centre.
Yes, perhaps we need Patrick Eager or someone like that to talk to us about photography and light, but certainly it was a very, very curious happening here this afternoon, and it was almost impossible to understand why the umpires should be in the pavilion when all the action, or perhaps the lack of action you might call it, was going on out in the centre. So it was an interesting day, but in many ways quite a sad one. So much time lost because of rain and then bad light towards the end. We leave you with one of the modern inventions of cricket. We've had helmets and all sorts of other things coming into the game in recent times. Here's the one that caused the consternation at Lord's today. Highlights of the Saturday's play of this Lord's Cornhill Test match. Well, unfortunately, 35 minutes of play were lost this morning. A little bit of light rain, but the forecast was good, and eventually the umpires were able to get the covers off, and play began that 35 minutes late. Yesterday, Bob Willis was halfway through an over when bad light stopped play. He completed that this morning, just a no ball from that over, and the score went along to 11 for no wicket for Australia. Here's Graham Dilley now. Coming in from the nursery end, he's bowling the second over of the day. Graham Wood is taking strike, and in the commentary box, Tony Lewis and Tom Graveney.
Nicely timed. Ooh, just gets there.
And what a fine way to start the morning. Beautifully timed stroke off his legs. Perfect balance there.
Oh, rifle shot. No sooner had I said that the outfield was not running quickly than that absolutely skimmed away. Another beautifully timed shot by Graham Wood. There was a shout there for a catch. It certainly went in the air, but a long way from Bob Taylor. But more runs to Australia. Willis on his way. Well, poor Graham Dilley, finding life expensive this morning. Four more.
And this is a terrific shot. It's pretty wide. He doesn't really get right over there, but strikes through the line of the ball and it rockets to the boundary.
No ball, oh dear, well, that was the back pad, and in went Woolman for the catch.
Oh, what a great catch. Superb piece of work by Bob Taylor there. Must have been going the wrong way, the way the ball was slanting away from the left-hander. Then it cut back and found the inside edge, I think. Wrong-footed Taylor, but he was good enough to come back. And he took it so easily. Graham Wood is out. A good short innings for 44, 62 for 1 Australia. Here's Ian Botham now. One breakthrough for England. And there's another. Perfectly pitched away swinger. David Gower takes the catch. How often do you see the partnership broken and then the second man goes as well? Botham breaks through, so 2 quick wickets for England here. Fierce stroke by Kim Hughes. Hold him. Played on. 3 wickets. 69 for 3 now. Four runs, no third man. 4 slips in the gully there, waiting for the edge. Just for identification, Hughes is wearing the short sleeve shirt, and Trevor Chappell has his sleeves rolled down. Both wearing sleeveless sweaters. And that should be out. That was rather a nasty delivery, but it's the 4th wicket down. It's lunch. 81 for 4, and really the Australians in complete disarray now. So that was a great little burst there as far as England were concerned, with Chappell going just moments before the luncheon interval. 81 for 4, and England certainly could be well satisfied with that. Australia away to a very good start. That was a fine innings from Graham Wood, and a marvellous catch by Bob Taylor to dismiss him. We pick up play now after lunch. It's the first over. Botham is bowling to the left-handed border. The score's still the same, 81 for 4. Here's Tom Graveney, and with him, Tony Lewis.
Six spinners. Well, they talk about batsmen playing themselves in, but Alan Border, he knew exactly from the start how to treat this.
And a magnificent shot by Alan Border, that. Right in line. Beautifully struck over mid-wicket.
Nicely placed. Cheers for Geoffrey Boycott, who seems to have taken on a new popularity in this his 100th Test match. Tremendous amount of pre-publicity. Fairly brutal treatment that by Alan Border. short man, but plenty of power in those forearms. It'll be 4 of some variety. Yes, umpire Ken Palmer is there to signal leg byes. And applause for the 100 up for Australia. Take that. Mustn't roll out there. One of Kim Hughes's great strengths. Second time he's played that sort of shot in this innings. Alan Border knows how to deal with those. It's the third time he's handed out some heavy punishment to the short ball bowled by Ian Botham. Fine record that. Averaging 50 and building up the experience. .600s, that's always the sign of someone who can get a lot of runs at the highest level. Yet another no ball. What a struggle it's been for Bob Willis to find his proper rhythm today. Of course, the idea for all fast bowlers is to start with the shorter strides, then stretch and reach the crescendo. Well, luckily through the gap that time. A slow outfield, but 2 runs. Mike Gatting will retrieve the ball. All rather frustrating for Bob Willis. He did take the first wicket, that of Graham Wood. But since then has been struggling with no balls and has found the edge of the bat. The edges haven't carried 2 fielders.
Well, you can't bowl anything better than that. Pitch just outside the leg stump, went right across Alan Border. It even took Bob Taylor by surprise. Magnificent delivery.
Well, what might have been. Well, there must be a funny side of it, I suppose, but it's a frustrating moment for both of them.
Not exactly out of the coaching book, this shot. That front foot pulling away, and it really did climb.
Applause for the 50 partnership between Alan Border and Kim Hughes. Change of bowling at the nursery end. Graham Gooch takes over the ball, and taking over the commentary, Richie Benno.
real loosener. Willis the man down on the deep fine leg boundary. Another loosener. It's the great ability of taking full advantage of a loose delivery, Alan Border. Might play around, play defensively for a couple of overs, then he plays one like that.
Great hitter of the short ball here, and Alan Border right across over the top. You can see those wrists rolling beautifully. And just to give you an indication of the slowness of the pitch, he's hit it well in front of the square, in front of square.
Bob Woolmer. Graham Dilley with 2 wickets and 7 no balls to his credit. Bowls now to Hughes. John Embury.
Short once again, Kim Hughes right over the top of it, hitting it in the air for a long, long while to Embury. A good stop there in the end. Fine fieldsman, gives himself a fair amount of room in the gully. He basically stays back for the cuts or the slashes rather than just the out and out edges.
Very good on anything loose. In the air, Bob Willis. Good catch. He's got a safe pair of hands, that fellow. He didn't look much of a chance in going for it. Hughes is not going to be pleased at that. The shot was on because there was no outfield. But spin has taken the 5th wicket for England. There won't be too many smiles there from Kim Hughes. But there'll be plenty from Bob Willis and John Embury. Kim Hughes' mind will be flitting to some of the criticisms that made of his batting occasionally. He throws away his innings when he's in really good touch, as indeed he was out there today. He played very nicely indeed. But what a good catch that was by Bob Willis. It's a nice little starter. Just a good square cut, nice firm stroke from Rod Marsh. Just 3 double-figure scores for the Australians. Wood 44, Hughes a very good 42 until Embury deceived him in the flight, and Border 37 with Marsh. 172 for 5 at tea, and it took 4 overs after tea for 4 runs to be added. Here we are now with Embury coming in to bowl his off-spinners. Rodney Marsh is taking strike, and here's Tony Lewis in the commentary box.
Four runs. Certain lack of flight in the delivery by John Embury. It's away again and beats the ring of fielders on the offside. And defensive or not, we still have to bowl on a length. Likes them there, does Rod Marsh. Plenty of room to play the shot, swing the bat. No ball. Well, this has been something of a nightmare day for Bob Willis. As far as no balls are concerned, 22 no balls have been bowled in all, and Bob Willis correction, 28 in all. 18th no ball by Bob Willis. Oh, good firm shot. Peter Willey, a couple of runs there, brings up 2 milestones, the half century to Alan Border and Australia's 200. Ian Botham begins his 16th over. Oh, but Alan Border loves it there. Nice footwork. Peter Willey. Everything right there by Peter Willey. Charge up the boundary and the return. But 2 runs. And more. Not quite middled maybe, but the way the ball ran down the slope towards the tavern.
Very gentle long hop from Ian Botham, and Alan Border makes no mistake with those.
He doesn't always play that pull shot as well as that, but then he doesn't always get a half picture that's coming at round about chest height. Four runs. Good shot that from Rod Marsh. Would you please let your fan club come to you after the game, Mr. Boycott? A great stroke. He might not have had his foot too close to the ball there, but he's certainly got the middle of the bat close to it. Slow ball and thumped away. 2 brilliant strokes there from Rodney Marsh. They'll have to be content with 4-all run, or not quite having enough pace to get up that slope. A lot of scorers and statisticians add to their repertoire a diagram of the batsman's scoring strokes, as indeed does our scorer statistician Wendy Wimbush. That's Alan Border's innings today, and what a fascinating diagram it makes.
Yes, it certainly is. It shows Alan Border's strength square of the wicket, but at the same time, and we'll continue that in just a moment,
and what better example could you have than a red line to be added to that diagram? Another 4 to Alan Border.
it shows the problem with the English bowling all day, the fact that they have been bowling short, giving Border an opportunity to play one of his strokes, and this particular applies to John Embree, who really, as a spinner, should only get cut very, very occasionally. He should be bringing the batsman forward whenever possible, but this has been the problem for England all day, much too short, giving the Australian batsmen opportunities to play their favourite strokes.
Good catch. Good catch. Mike Gatting. I'll swear that was almost past him. Alan Border goes for 64, 244 for 6 now.
But poor Ray Bright, he doesn't get any long hops or full tosses. He gets absolute pearlers. More effort from Botham. Every ball appears to be moving. He must really wonder what's happening.
Why me, I would think he's saying right now.
Off the mark at last, Ray Bright. A couple of runs. And for Australia, 250 up.
Well, just 2 more runs added there to take the Australians along to 253 for 6 at the close of play. Quite an intriguing day, even though there were 35 minutes lost at the start because of that drizzly rain. But it was a day of patterns, with the Australians getting away to a good start. And as their scorecard shows, they then crumbled in the middle and were pulled together by Kim Hughes and Alan Border. A good innings that from Hughes. He won't be happy at the way he got out. And Alan Border, 64. He really is a rock-like figure in Australian cricket these days. Not much to look at in that he's all short-arm jabs, but he's very, very powerful, has a tremendous amount of courage and a lot of good shots. He also averages over 50 in Test match cricket, and that's pretty good. Rodney Marsh coming good with the bat there just at the right time. 43 not out in that total of 253 for 6. Just have a look at those extras. 47 out of that 253 are down to extras. 6 byes, 11 leg byes, 4 wides, and 26 no balls under the front foot rule. The bowling figures, just going from the bottom there. John Emburey, 1 for 20. Graham Gooch, none for 28. I was surprised he was bowled after tea. Ian Botham, 2 for 51. Graham Dilley, 2 for 74. And Bob Willis, who I thought was the best of the England bowlers today, 1 for 33. He bowled with plenty of pace and fire, a lot of hostility for much of the time, but I'm afraid he bowled 21 of those 26 no balls. That no ball rule has a lot to answer for, but while it's in force, the bowlers do have to keep part of their foot on the line or behind. Of the second Cornhill Test match at Lord's, a day that was always likely to be decisive, with both sides fighting for the advantage. Well, they were lucky today because the morning dawned very well and sunshine was with us when the players came out onto the field. A splendid day with the sun beating down by the time the first over was bowled. 253 for 6, the Australians at the start of play. Marsh and Bright, the not-out batsmen, and the pitch, well, it was always likely that it would take a little bit of turn, and Botham lost no time in testing that. He brought John Emburey on for the first over. Here he is now bowling to Rodney Marsh, no addition to the overnight total, and your commentators, Tom Graveney and Tony Lewis, but first of all, Peter West.
It's a fine shot and it's through for 4. Giving himself a bit of room, bit short.
Beautiful shot this by Rodney Marsh. Little bit short, wide outside the off stump. And Rodney Marsh really cracks that in the middle. Rodney Marsh really cracks that in the middle.
Success for Graham Dilley. Well, that's a better start for him, and very abrupt end for Rod Marsh. Third ball with the new ball, and that's the breakthrough that Ian Botham really wanted.
This really was astonishing. I would think pitching middle and off and hitting middle. Complete misjudgment here. And a tremendous start for England. The danger man on his way back into the pavilion.
47 to Rod Marsh, and a very useful innings indeed. Got the edge, didn't carry. Well, Rod Marsh and Kim Hughes may be doing some arithmetic, or maybe some geometry, all about the LBW decision, who knows. Could be the crossword. Well, this is a difficult day for Ray Bright.
And a very good over from Bob Willis this. That bounced and went right through Ray Bright.
Over the top, and away it goes. Well, that's bad luck for Graham Dilley. Both these Australian batsmen really struggling at the moment against the second new ball.
And Graham Dilley getting quite a lot of pace there. Bounce, and Jeff Lawson not really behind it at all, and slices it over the top of the slips. Not the first one we've seen go over the slips this match.
Good hostile bowling by Graham Dilley. What a marvellous start to the second new ball.
43 runs behind Australia at the moment, 268 for 7. And well bowled. Indeed, that must be out. Umpire Ken Palmer has raised his finger and Bob Willis has broken through again. There's a good delivery, beaten for pace, Lawson, and movement off the seam, I suspect. Fast bowlers union, I suppose, doesn't allow for one to whistle past Lily's nose. And 4 runs. He had a couple of good batting performances in Australia last summer, Dennis Lilly. Good shot. Anyone who's been of the opinion that Ian Botham's not fast enough to bowl a bouncer would have it reinforced by that stroke from Ray Bright.
And this is not a wicket to bowl bouncers on when you're Botham's place. Look at Ray Bright there, up in the air, plenty of time to pull it from outside the off stump.
If Ian Botham is trying to bounce out either or both of these tail enders, those 2 strokes from Ray Bright in this over should have given him a new insight into bowling on a 4-day-old pitch here. And not only is Ray Bright a tough character, but he's very quick to seize on the chance to pick up runs. Good defensive player, but he's also a good player off the back foot.
Very slow delivery this, and very short. And look at the amount of time Ray Bright has got, even got time to get away from the ball and give it a full swing of the bat.
.311 England. So Australia now within 11 of that figure.
Good shot. Fine shot by Ray Bright takes Australia into the lead on the first innings. And after those early moments of playing a missing and edging, Ray Bright now finding the middle of the bat. Well, whatever it was that got him, it was not turned, certainly. The ball pitched well up to the bat. Maybe the pressure of the close fielders. Now there's a chance gone for Ray Bright. He was well established. 33 he'd scored. Seen off the quick bowling and then fell to a shot which was played across the line.
Ray Bright here, feeling that the ball was going down the leg side. He's thrown his foot right across and he's given the umpire a very good view of that one.
So that's the score at the fall of the Australian 9th wicket. Just 3 runs they lead England on the first innings.
And that's not the hand you want hit if you're one of the bowlers in the Australian side. Strained a muscle in the first innings, hamstring, and that's a nasty blow. Just on the top of the thumb or the forefinger. Whatever it is, it's not going to make him bowl any better. Some very ordinary bowling out there this morning as regards line and length. Peter Willey came into this match with a very badly bruised forefinger, the right hand, and now looked as though he's got more problems and he will go off the field. Chasing that away down at long leg, looks as though he's strained a hamstring. Getting doing the chasing. Produced the desired result, but it might also produce something for Bob Willis when he gets out there. 3:45 all out now. 40 to Lilly, unbeaten. Alderman out for 5. Court Taylor bowled Willis. 3:45, that's a good effort from the Australians after losing Marsh and Lawson early on. Marsh 47 and Lawson 5. And good partnerships between Bright and Lilly, and then Lilly and Alderman at the end. I thought Lilly played extremely well there today. He showed his experience. He played carefully between mid-off and mid-on, or let the ball go through to the keeper, or hoiked it away on the onside. And that 40 not out's a just reward for some good thinking out there in the centre. Look at that last line there. Byes 6, leg byes 11, wide 6 and no balls 32. My word, they have done something to us with that front foot no ball law. 32 of them. That's the way they break down. Bob Willis and Graham Dilley, 28 to Willis, 14 to Dilley, and 4 wides as well. You can't blame the front foot law for the wides. And Ian Botham, 2 wides as well. But 42 no balls in that Australian innings. The bowling figures: Willis 3 for 50, Dilley 3 for 106, Botham 2 for 71, and Embury 2 for 35. And that's significant, that last line. 25 overs, 12 maidens, 2 for 35, because John Embury may have the chance of spinning against the Australians on the final day when the pitch is taking most turn. Well, England began 34 behind in their second innings. Gooch and Boycott, the openers, and we pick up play now in the first over. It's the third ball. Dennis Lilly is the bowler, and he's bowling to Gooch. In the commentary box is Bob Simpson, and with him, Tony Lewis.
Useful ball, well played. Played it down and found the gap between the range of slips and gullies. 3 to Gooch. And England's second innings underway. Jeff Boycott off the mark. Oh, off the middle. And beautifully straight. 4 excellent runs to Graham Gooch. And this is how he started the first innings of the 60 partnership with Jeff Boycott. Graham Gooch was responsible for 44. Oh, well bowled. Well, that really was a touch of the old Dennis Lilly. Graham Gooch beaten for pace there. And a beautiful line on or about the off stump. Bit of high-speed cricket that. Quite a fast ball from Dennis Lilly, and beautifully glanced or glided by Graham Gooch. Absolutely raced away towards the boundary. Dennis Lilly, he does seem to be running in a bit this second innings.
Yes, he's certainly bowling faster than I've seen him for some time, and working off his long run. Obviously, the warmer up he had when he was batting has helped him immensely. Of course, also boosted his confidence, and I think that's the big thing. He's also had a good bowl in the first innings, and with Dennis these days only playing so irregular and virtually only in Test match, I just wonder perhaps he's not short of a run occasionally.
Very bright, the fielder. 2 to Gooch. Nicely played. Good, confident stroke off the front foot by Graham Gooch. And this very much the pattern of England's first innings. What a good ball. Comes back and keeps low, and that's too much for Graham Gooch. Just his second ball, and already Jeff Lawson has struck.
That's a fascinating stroke by Graham Gooch, who 95% of the time pushes forward, whether the ball is up or short. And here he is now with the pacemen coming on, going back and being well trapped, LBW.
So England yet to cancel out the first innings lead of 34 taken by Australia. 31 for 1, and that brings Bob Woolmer to the wicket.
It's not far away, that one.
Confident appeal here from Terry Alderman. Bob Woolmer going forward and very close, perhaps just striking him outside the line of the off stump.
Well, I think we can guarantee that wasn't out. It was a tremendous appeal from Terry Alderman, but Bob Woolmer just managed to get the middle of the bat on it. Young England fan, rosettes and the lot, plus Chocky Biscuit, just short of Rod Marsh.
One going down the leg side, and Boycott perhaps coming too far in, leaving his bat outside his pad, and Marsh covering a lot of distance and stopped the delivery, no catch.
Woolmer taking straight.
Very late decision by Bob Woolmer to play a shot here. He's going to let it go, and it's come back on him, and put himself in a very awkward position. Rather lucky to get away with it.
Another no ball. This really has been an extraordinary match. There have been 65 no balls in the whole match. Away it goes, off the middle of the bat, and some relief for Bob Woolmer, who's struggled to find his fluency. Dennis Lilly, yet again taking time off, but for the pleasure of the public. And now brought into action by Jeff Boycott. Two more to Boycott. 15 not out. He's given him. Maybe full toss. It was certainly well up and looked to trap Bob Woolmer on the boot.
There goes the ball, and I think it's the pace that's done him as much as anything. That's hit him full toss, fairly well, just by the bottom of the pad. And pretty well in front there.
Well, poor Bob Woolmer. 9 runs. And delighted Kim Hughes. .55 for 2. As elegant a start as you can get to any innings of the first ball, faced by David Garr.
Any young people watching, see the beautiful balance there.
Well, Australia demanded that. It was more than an appeal. They looked all so certain and all so desperately disappointed. Absolute disbelief by Jeff Lawson.
And here's that delivery. And it's a useful delivery, but I think the answer is there. The ball pitches just outside the leg stump. There's no doubt it would have hit the middle, but it definitely pitched outside the leg stump, in which case you can't be LBW.
Delightful. 4 runs. Object lesson to many a schoolboy and a great delight to their parents.
And the great thing is how little movement there is there. In fact, that was a bit wide, but he struck it beautifully.
Well, there you are. That's the danger area, but if you're going to flash, flash hard. So the gap, and along the ground. touch rough in the middle of the bat. Good chase there by Jeff Lawson, the Australian fielder. 2 to Boycott, not quite middled. Boycott 24 not out. That's a better shot.
And this will be nice and encouraging for Jeff Boycott, this. Couple of fairly gentle full tosses he's had so far. But I think Ray Bright looking perhaps for that little bit of rough outside the leg stump to the right-hander.
Oh, and finds it.
And as I was just saying, that little bit of rough outside, and look at that one turn. My goodness me. Very interesting.
Beautiful stroke that. Didn't really hit that. He just caressed it away through the covers off the back foot. He was always in control of the stroke there. 100 comes up. 102 for 2 now. And for his own century, Geoffrey Boycott needs another 67. Shot. Minimum of effort there. .50 partnership now between Gower and Boycott. 29 to go. Kept that down beautifully. Three more to Boycott. Trevor Chappell, the fielder. And Boycott goes now to 40, 112 for 2. Lightly straight up. It was good footwork and nice timing, but the splendid thing about it was the placement. Didn't have much room to move there.
Boycott very quick here to seize on the fact it's a half volley. 1 foot down the wicket and picked that position beautifully. Marvellous place for the ball, Jeff Boycott.
Four runs, beautifully picked up by David Gower. Dyson retrieves it, but Gower, perfect timing.
This is that magnificent hook shot of David Gower. 2 big things about it. First, his ability to pick the fact up. It was short, but more importantly, he picked the line up so beautifully. And he was then able to get into a superb position.
And a lot of disappointed Australians out there now.
Bit of more flight this time. Certainly pad, very difficult always to see whether there's any bat to it at all.
Now there'll be 1 or 2 people around the ground hoping that Boycott manages to get 4 to get 50 tonight, but I reckon the most will be hoping he'll stay there to make that 100 tomorrow. Boycott himself settles for 1.
And that was the final run of the day. Ray Bright bowling a maiden right at the very end. 129 for 2. England in their second innings. The men out. Gooch for 20. A good delivery that from Jeff Lawson. And Bob Woolmer out to a full toss from Terry Alderman. I thought Jeff Boycott batted extremely well this afternoon. He stroked the ball well, showed good defence right at the top of his form. And David Gower, full marks to him because he was having all sorts of trouble with Raymond Bright bowling into the rough outside his off stump. The Australian bowlers, they struggled a bit there. Dennis Lillee hasn't taken a wicket in this test match yet. 11 overs, 3 maidens done for 35, off a short run today and at reduced pace. Jeff Lawson 1 for 20, bowled well again. Alderman 1 for 42. And the lead for England now at the close of the 4th day. They are 95 runs ahead with 8 second innings wickets in hand. Can we get a match out of this? Well, it's not all that easy because we lost those 4 hours, which is tragic, towards the start of the test match, and it's very, very difficult for either side now to get a result. The only ones I can see coming out of it are a draw, which is the logical one, or England, if they get a run on their batting tomorrow, with Boycott doing extremely well, and then they have John Embury bowling well on a pitch that is taking a little bit of spin. But the odds, I'm afraid, must be a little bit on a draw. The interest, well, Geoffrey Boycott, in his 100th test match, can he notch 3 figures? He was going so well today, well, I wouldn't put anything past him, and I think probably it's in his mind as he goes to sleep tonight. Shot of the morning. He's beaten Jeff Boycott to the half century. That was a top shot.
See that back foot go across there? Perfectly timed.
He's 50.
And that brings up the 100 partnership between Jeff Boycott and David Gower. Oops, over the top of slips. Well, it looks as if he played that there deliberately.
Very late decision here by Jeff Boycott. And this is a fine over too by Lawson. Starting, I thought, to play it defensively, and suddenly just a moment. Look, yes, he's given it a little help across. It's a very, very good shot against the fast bowler. Not much chance of getting out, and there's certainly no fieldsman over the top of Slip's head.
Same treatment. And same result. I can do it once, I can do it twice, as Jeff Boycott. I don't think Jeff Lawson really believed him. Well, it's gone with the tide, with the spin, and that's 6 runs to David Gower. He's gone. That is it. Well, never underestimate Dennis Lillee. His comeback spell in his second over. It is the end of a Boycott dream, of getting a century in his 100th test match.
Good Lillee, delivery, this one from Lillee, just holding the line, and Boycott an awful long way away from the ball, and Rod Marsh easily able to get across and pick up that catch. Marsh not moving quite as freely as I've seen him, but long innings by Boycott.
But still a great occasion for Geoffrey Boycott, and appreciated by everyone, especially his opposition. And as he always says, there's one thing from me you'll always get, that's value for money. And certainly he did try, as always.
Shot. Lilly was quick enough to take most of the pace off that. No more runs added up to the luncheon interval there. 197 for 3, 22 extras in that lot. And the batsman out there this morning, Geoffrey Boycott. Caught Marsh bowl Lilly for 60. He added just 13 runs today and was 40 short of making a century in his 100th Test match. He was fairly slow this morning, but in the end, he fell to that great combination of Marsh and Lilly. We pick up play now in the second over. 6 runs added after lunch, and added with just a little touch of urgency about it. It looked to me as though England had formed a definite plan that they might just be able to claim some sort of psychological, if not in the end an actual victory over the Australians. Lilly is bowling to Gower, and in the commentary box, Tony Lewis and Tom Graveney.
It's high, and it's Hughes who was under it, but it was an extremely difficult catch. It really took so long for anyone to find the ball, let alone Hughes. And I really thought that David Gower had aimed that ball over mid-off, but in fact it was mid-on Kim Hughes who was under it in the end. It's gone high, and it's gone straight. A colossal blow that by Mike Gatting, 6 runs over long on. He's given it. Graham Wood, the catcher, at first slip. So Gatting, he goes. Lilly to Gower. And that's another wicket to Australia, and a fine catch that by Terry Alderman. So the frustration has ended for Dennis Lilly, who has hit most parts of the bat in the last couple of overs, and the end of an excellent innings for England by David Gower. Fought it out against the spinners and played, as ever, some good shots. Ian Botham's first ball from Ray Bright. Still bowling his spinners over the wicket. And I'm afraid that's just not good enough. Well, how the fates follow you. A pair for the England captain, Ian Botham.
And Ray Bright pitching it in the rough. It's a little bit early to try that shot. Pitch just outside the leg stump, and turns in that rough and hits middle and leg.
Returns to silence. It's in the air, but middle and safe. It's a chase to the boundary. And I guess for Peter Willey that was a rare way to get off the mark against Dennis Lilly.
Good shot. Plays those beautifully, mostly in limited over games. Just a little bit of room for the stroke.
It's good to see England making some attempt to get on with this game.
It was beautifully timed 6 by Peter Willie. He's got on now to 12. Dilly is 8, and the lead now is over 200. It's gone. Caught it covered. Trevor Chappell. Peter Willie goes. Sacrifice there, as a number of the batsmen have been since the luncheon interval. Just trying to push the scoring rate along. The tactics to get Australia in, either to beat them or to give them what we might call one hell of a fright. Tremendous power there, the England fast bowler. Whatever the message was Bob Taylor brought out, it didn't involve slowing down. Massive hit. Beautifully timed stroke that from Graham Dilly. Just bouncing inside the boundary, just a yard or so. Right now bowling to Taylor. Shot. See Bob Taylor hit too many sixes. Maiden first-class century this summer. MBE, and now a 6 at Lords. Here's Martin Kent, and there's also a man, Trevor Chappell, going out on the boundary. So now there is some urgency about the Australians' defensive tactics. Bowled, Lilly, another wicket, his third. 265 for 8. Taylor bowled Lilly for 9.
And Bob Taylor here sacrificing his wicket in the cause.
And there's the declaration from Ian Botham at 265 for 8. And that means the Australians need 232 to win. So it's a pretty good declaration by Botham. He's given them a little bit of a dangling carrot there, but I don't think they'll have a go at it. It's meaning that they have to score something around about 75 or 80 runs per 100 balls. At the end there, Graham Dilly not out 27. And the Australian bowling figures: Lilly 3 for 82, Alderman 1 for 42, Lawson 1 for 51, and Ray Bright 36 overs, 18 maidens, 3 for 67. Well, the Australians started off with the same opening pair as the first innings. It was Wood and Dyson. They put on 62 in the first innings. They've got 2 on the board now as Dilly comes in to bowl to Dyson. Here's Bob Simpson with me in the commentary box. That's gone. A full toss. Graham Dilly picks up a wicket with his first delivery. Dyson aiming to punch it away past square leg. 2 on the board for 1 wicket.
Ooh, it's almost stuck. Almost stuck there for Bob Woolmer.
Desperate lunge here with his bat pad. Woolmer, in fact, getting the ball into his fingertips. But as the elbow hits the ground, out it pops.
Did it carry? It looks to have carried, and it's a very fine catch at second slip. The catcher, Ian Botham, and the bowler, Bob Willis.
Well balanced in the slip both, and just have a look at him here. Sees it coming, and just enough. Would have liked to have seen him bend the knees a bit more. They get a bit lower there.
Off the mark. Hughes plays across it, and the ball was straight, and that was enough to bring even more embarrassment to Australia and indeed to their captain, Kim Hughes.
And after that lifter, last ball, Kim Hughes staying on the back foot, not really moving his front foot forward at all, hitting him just below the knee roll of the pad, and I reckon probably knocking out middle and leg.
Graham Wood taking straight. 4. Dilly's line and length in both test matches so far has not been all that he'd wish, but he's picked up the wickets. He's been a good strike bowler. It's 4 runs. And he's gone. Caught behind by Taylor off Botham. Trevor Chappell out for 5. The 4th wicket goes down.
Slipped out of my hand, mum. 4 runs. What a good match he's had. 52 to follow that excellent first innings.
And that's it at the end of Graham Dilly's over. 2 minutes before 6 o'clock. And with just 2 overs to go. And it was to Ian Botham and Kim Hughes, the Australian skipper, that Peter West spoke immediately after the match.
Was there just a slight flutter of apprehension in the Australian camp when you were 17 for 3, Kim?
Yeah, more than a slight flutter, but we always thought today was going to be a very difficult day. You know, the wicket, particularly this morning, behaved in an irregular fashion with the various bounce and that, and we were a bit frightened of what the new ball might do, and that's one of the reasons we didn't take the new ball, just in case it was really doing a lot, and they might have declared earlier. But we were fortunate, we were thankful actually that they batted on for as long as they did, because we never really felt that we were in with a chance to get the runs.
What do you feel really about being appointed match by match? I know the Australians do it that way, but do you feel it would give you more confidence if you were given a go for the rest of the series now?
Well, it'd probably be a lot easier, yes, to settle down and know what was going on, but we've just got to see what happens and play it by. It's a new thing in England. I've never known it happen like this before in England, so I'll just hang on in there and see what happens.
Well, I'm afraid they've done it now, and as you will have heard earlier in the programme, Ian Botham then went to the selectors and suggested that he should be made captain for the remainder of the series to ease the pressure on himself and on the team. The selectors then let us know that they had already decided to replace Botham because of the pressure he had been under, and they haven't yet announced who will be captain of England for the Headingley Test match. Right, well, this Lord's Test match, Geoff Lawson was man of the match, deservedly so in my opinion. 7 for 81 in the first innings and 1 wicket in the second. A fine performance and a delightful presentation by MCC to Geoffrey Boycott on the occasion of him playing in his 100th Test match. A very fine performance, and he made 60 today